What's up, guys? This is Eric from GameShampoo.com. It's been a while since I've done a news video, probably since like the end of December, middle of December, something like that. Just because we had like a bunch of Game of the Year stuff going on, and had like Far Cry 3 to get through and do a bunch of guides for, and got sick for like a solid week and a half. But now it is the new year and there is actual news happening, so it's time to do a little bit of recap of that. We're starting to get people sending out lots of holiday sales information. We're getting lots of big games from the holiday season being patched, and we're starting to hear a little bit about the stuff we might be playing around with come the end of the year, which is pretty cool. That's always pretty exciting to hear about, like the next Xbox or next PlayStation or Valve's Bigfoot thing that they've got going on. So I am going to do a news recap video, and the plan right now is actually to split it into two videos instead of just one, since these things can sometimes run on a little bit long, and there's a lot of news to talk about, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of game announcements already. So yeah, I'm gonna split it up into two parts. Part one is going to be just straight up news, and then part two, gonna finish out the beginning of the year in terms of news, and then I'm going to talk about what's going on next week. Some cool stuff happening starting basically in like 5 hours. Recording this on a Sunday night at about 7:30ish, and got some reviews going up next week, got some other cool stuff, so be sure to stick around for that. Check out that video too. This will be part one, and just talking about news, stuff that happened. Let's kick it off with Borderlands 2. Two kind of cool pieces of news about this. One of them, if you haven't heard it yet, you should probably hurry up and get in on the action. That's the Gear Up weekend. It began on Friday. I couldn't think of what day it was for a second, even though I just said it. Began on Friday. It ends on Monday around 11 a.m., I believe. So if you haven't gotten in on that, jump in on it right now. That will give you increased chance to get rare shotguns in your game. So if you don't have a good shotgun, or if you're looking for rare loot, definitely get in on that. You can get what else is there? Yeah, it's just like a weekend long, basically, looting spree, and it ends on Monday, and it's all of course in service of the Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC, which is coming out soon. Additionally, Borderlands 2 related, there is a patch for the game, the PC version only, I believe. Yeah, and it fixed a few weapon bugs, a few DLC bugs, a few minor miscellaneous things. So if you're curious at all about that, check that out. We've got it up on the site, GameShampoo.com/magazine, of course. Got a detailed list of patch notes there, but just know that if you've been having weapon problems or DLC problems, they might be fixed now, so go check that out. Far Cry 3 was also patched. It received a major patch for the PlayStation 3. The Xbox 360 patch, currently unknown when we'll be getting that, but we have a big list of fixes right here. Looking at it right now, it just goes on and on. Tons of stuff fixed in the multiplayer, in the map editor, in the single player even. So if you've been having any issues, again, check out that patch notes list. It's GameShampoo.com/magazine, and your problems might very well be solved. Dota 2 also patched. That one adds some pretty substantial stuff. It's changing around the UI a little bit. doing some minor changes to the balancing of the gameplay, which is to be expected, in a game of this genre and a game of this age. It's not very old yet. And most significantly of all, the patch adds the Medusa character. Got the lowdown on her and her abilities. Naturally, she can turn people into stone, but there's a lot more where that came from. So check out that article if you are interested in Dota 2 at all. Nintendo announced that they had some pretty great sales over the holiday season and over the month of December in general, and those announcements have boosted their shares on the MPD by 5.6%. So it's good for people with Nintendo stock right now, but the question is that stock going to stay high, or is it going to dip again? They'll have to keep up pretty solid sales momentum with all of their platforms if they really want to keep it that high, because of the Wii, not the Wii U, actually contributed a lot to those holiday sales, and I really don't know, one, if anybody's really going to be buying that thing anymore after that last Christmas. Two, I think there's still a lot of confusion between the Wii and the Wii U with casual audiences. Do people really know that the Wii U is a different thing than the Wii, or did a lot of people go out and buy the Wii and then a Wii U controller thinking they could just work together? Not a lot of people I know who aren't already pretty serious gamers really know anything about the Wii U. So that could be an issue, and it could definitely impact sales momentum going forward. But for now, MPD stock up 5.6%. Nintendo moved 460,000 Wii U units in the US over the month of December, bringing the total console sales up to 890,000, which is certainly solid, but probably not quite what Nintendo had predicted. Then there's the 3DS, which moved 1.25 million units in December alone. Definitely a solid number, and that system has raised up to 7.7 million lifetime sales so far. And then there is the Wii, like we were talking about before, which moved 475,000 units in December, which is crazy because that is more copies of the original, more units of the original Wii sold than units of the Wii U sold. And I don't think there's necessarily a shortage of Wii U's going around. I walked into Walmart the other day and there were plenty of them just sitting around, deluxe editions. And that puts the Wii's lifetime sales up to 40.8 million, which is freaking huge. So Nintendo's doing quite well right now. If you have stock in the company, it's questionable, let's say, whether or not it'll continue to raise. When you think about Wii U exclusives for 2013, there's Pikmin 3, obviously, Rayman Legends from Ubisoft, and there's the the Marvelous 100, I think it's called, from Platinum. And I think all three of those games look great, and they look really interesting, but it's just 3 games, and none of them necessarily have that casual mass market kind of appeal of something like Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Party even, or those big core games, not even of like a Zelda or a Metroid really. So I'm kind of curious what exactly the future outlook of the Wii U will be when we come back to it at the end of this year. I suppose we could feasibly have Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U by the end of the year as well. We'll have to see. I think it's crazy that game is coming to the Wii U after spending a whole lot of time with that controller when the system first came out, and it's just like really big and heavy, and I'm probably going to be using the Pro controller to play Bayonetta 2. I cannot picture playing that game with the giant gamepad. That's nuts. But that's this week in Wii U news, I suppose. Got some really cool 3DS news, although not quite as cool as it could have been. To report, there is a brand new bundle for the 3DS coming in February, and it's bundling a 3DS console, just a regular 3DS though, not the 3DS XL, with the game Fire Emblem Awakening, which, in case you are not up on your Nintendo quite as well as some are, it is a turn-based strategy RPG in which you have soldiers who will die permanently if they fall on the battlefield. So, very intense, very fun series, typically speaking, and it's coming to the 3DS in February, and a blue 3DS emblazoned with a Fire Emblem Awakening symbol, which is that of like two dragons arcing up the blade of a sword, is emblazoned on the back of the 3DS. And unfortunately, it's not an XL system. I really like the XL a lot better than the regular 3DS, so it's kind of a bummer that is the case. But no price point has been announced yet, but the game is scheduled to come out on the 4th of February, so we can expect to hear a lot more about it before then. So if you're in the market for a 3DS and you like Fire Emblem, definitely look out for that. The game will be bundled onto the system's SD card. It will not come on a separate cart, so keep that in mind if for whatever reason you really want a game card. Speaking of bundles, we have a Dead Space 3 limited edition coming out, and this one is called the Dev Team Edition. Comes with a ton of stuff, and it costs $160, so I guess it better come with a lot of stuff. Only 5,000 of these things are ever going to be made, so you'll definitely want to pre-order it if you want to get in on the necromorph killing action. The following stuff will come with the bundle. We have a 13-inch SCAF tin crate. Not totally sure what SCAF is, but I know it's some sort of organization in the Dead Space universe that's going to be featuring pretty heavily in the story of Dead Space 3, from what I can see. So you get a 13-inch tin crate, which I assume the game and everything else would come inside of, an 8-inch polyresin black marker statue, an aluminum data pad, a med pack water bottle, which is probably my favorite thing in this entire bundle. Probably the most practical thing, because I actually need a water bottle. And a bound SCAF jotter, aka a notepad, 3 SCAF posters, 6 Pang postcards, and a 96-page mini art book. And then, of course, Dead Space 3 will be in there too, in case you want that. And then there will be 2 pieces of DLC that you get for free. There's the First Contact bundle, which includes the First Contact suit and the Negotiator weapon. And then there's the Witness the Truth bundle, which includes the Witness the Truth suit and the Evangelizer weapon. So those 2 DLC things are normally based on which retailer you purchase it at, but now you just get all the stuff. If you order this edition, you have to order it from EA themselves. We have the link up on the site, and we have full list of everything that's going to come inside of that package, and we've got a release date for it, price, all that good stuff. So check that out. It looks really cool. Dead Space 3 looks really cool. Made our list of top 10 most anticipated games of 2013, but we'll get into that in the next video. And moving on to Terra Online. The game's going free to play next month. That's basically all I have to say on that, because I didn't play any Terra. But if you play Terra, maybe you'll understand what they're saying better than I do. We have a list of all the changes that are coming to the game as a result of it going free to play. We have a list of sort of perks that you can get for yourself if you do choose to continue to pay for the game, which of course is an option. So check that out if you play Terra still, and you want to know how this is going to impact your experience with the game. Far Cry 3 sold almost 1 million units over December, which makes it a pretty big success for Ubisoft so far. Couple that with the fact that the game was one of the top 20 best-selling games of the year in the UK, and it's safe to say that we might see a Far Cry 4 pretty soon, which I would be totally okay with. And speaking of Far Cry 3, a mobile companion app was released by Ubisoft that gives you information on some of the multiplayer stuff. It'll actually allow you to use secret codes that you find in the multiplayer to get exclusive gear. So we have more details on that in the actual article. Give that a read if you play a lot of Far Cry 3 multiplayer. It's co-op and it's competitive based, so whether you like competing against people or cooperating with them, there's going to be something in there for you. Okay, let's continue on the Far Cry 3 bend, and then cover that stuff, and then call this one a video, and then we'll have to finish up the rest of the news in part 2, and tell you about what's coming next week. Like I said, some really cool, exciting stuff that I'm pretty amped for, and I'm going to have to run off and do it all after this video. So 2 more Far Cry 3 things, really, and they're both guides. We've completed our Relics guide, which we've been working on for a few weeks now. We have finally all 120 relics listed in this one guide. So if you're missing one, if you're looking to collect them all, check this guide out. It's got everything in it. And in that same note, we have started up a loot guide that is basically going to tell you everything you want to know about every single piece of loot in the entire game. Monetary value, description, all that good stuff. So if you're interested at all in Far Cry 3, we have tons of guides for that game. We have literally something like, I don't know, 16 guides or something like that up there, and we're still going strong. So I'm definitely going to continue to cover that game into the future, and I'm going to say that's going to do it for part numero uno. So thanks for watching, and check out more videos, por favor. This is the Espanol version, apparently.